good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Neslin of the Passion Show of Radio Works World. And today I have a most exciting woman who is our guest, and she is Fazia. So, Fazia, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself to the world, my darling?
Hello, my name is Fausia. I'm someone that empowers women across the world. I'm excited to be on the show and to celebrate my learning with all the women across the world and to inspiring them this evening.
How perfect and wonderful. So tell us, what more would you like to share with us about your passion?
The one thing that I'd like to share with my passion is working with women across the world in very difficult circumstances, especially asylum seeking women and human trafficking, is the one beauty that I see with all the sisterhood is their passion to exist even in adversity. And when I work with women that has that little light that's shining through, I'm there to hold with compassion, with my heart, to give them the information they need to better themselves, their understanding of the host country, and their values where they're coming from their heritage. And by doing this, I can see then with a couple of weeks, they understand more their journey. They then reconnect with themselves, reconnect with where they are and how they can take the steps forward in understanding and transforming their lives in the UK.
Wonderful. So, in all of that, what is it that gives you the most joy?
The most joy is when a woman comes to me and says to me, Fausia, I can really sleep at night now. My heart is not pounding. I'm not scared to switch off the light. Through the psychoeducation you've provided me, through the information that I've learnt with you, and through the groups that I've attended, I can understand the panic, the terror that I feel. It's normal. And I'm just going to take each day as it comes, and I'm just going to see what unravels in the world for me.
Perfect. And as you, Fausia, takes each day as it comes, where do you get your energy and drive? What is it that gives you the energy and drive?
I feel for me, what really gives me the energy of drive is my own history. I come from a background of, I lost my mother very young. So I was 7 years old and I lost my mother. I was the eldest of five children. So I soon found myself being a mother to my siblings. But the one thing that gave me hope was I had this beautiful woman, my grandmother.
Mhm.
She had just retired. She was 60 years old. My father took the step of depression and wasn't available for us emotionally or physically due to the loss of his young wife through having a brain tumor. But my grandmother, with the little she had and the wisdom she had, she raised all of us. You know, the love, the care, and the tears, the joy, the misery that followed, but she was there. She was someone that I could go and I hear it knock on her door and she'll open it with a smile. She'll welcome me in. She'll make me a cup of tea and she'll take my pain away. She gave me the inspiration. The one thing she always said to me, my sweetie, if down deep inside your heart, you always carry the light, you will always shine. There will be dark days, there'll be stormy days, there'll be waves. But if you've got the heart to exist and to give, you will get the goodness that you deserve in the world. God would bless you and you will find your way. But in your heart, you'll always need to take action. You can be a reader. You can be an educator for others. You can bring justice in the world for women and children. Always promise me that you will thrive in whatever you do. And that's the biggest gift she gave me. And even talking about it, I'm getting quite emotional. She taught me how, with a little bit of money, to keep a family going, how to budget, how to. My father took me out of school when I was 12 years old. He didn't believe in girls being educated because of what he said. He was religious, but that's not it. I got married, I came back, I started from scratch as a mature young woman with no education, walking up and down that college nearly 20 times to have the courage to go in because my internal voice was saying to me, "Oh, you should have done this, you should have been able to do this." Why? But it wasn't my fault. I didn't have the power to make decisions at that time. I also had my siblings on my back because I saw my mother go in as a young, beautiful woman in the hospital and come back with all her hair shaved off. I was afraid of her. But my mother, my grandmother, I always carried them with me. And every time I'm having a oh, this should be better. No, there's other people's worse off than you. Just have gratitude and thankfulness what you have. You'll always find a way, Fawzia. Go out your front door and look. And I truly believe that. Up to now, I have my challenges. I have my own children, but I always find my way. And that's why, with my heart and my experience, when women come to me in the most vulnerable position, I say to them, "What do you believe in your heart? Who were you before? Before this war hit you, before this conflict hit you, who were you?" And they tell me. And I say to them, "Well, you had the light, sweetie. You'll find a way. We'll find a way together." And they do. And this is what is my drive and my passion for women and children across the world, because I believe that men go through the pain as well. But I think that the majority is still women that are still not looked after, don't have their basic needs met. And I would love every girl in the world to be educated, to be able to read, to have safety, and not be oppressed because of their gender.
You have touched me at my deepest core. Thank you for sharing.
Mm.
At what
Yes.
age were you married?
I was married at 20. I was married, I actually fell in love when I got married. And, families, "Oh, well, she's not good enough. Well, she doesn't come from the same social class." So there was lots of family conflict. And as always, the woman gets the blame. The woman will get the blame. Um, but however, I always had this essence of love and
Mhm,
care. And it isn't materialistic. It's about when you stop,
mhm,
you give a hand to someone, you give a second to someone to listen to them, just to hold them in that moment. For me, that's the biggest gift. And even with my work, some of my clients say to me, Fawzia, what you've given me is you came from your desk, you came and offered me a cup of tea, you sat with me, I wasn't making sense. You waited with me until I made sense, and then you supported me with what you could, and I know that it came from your heart. And when people say that to me sometimes, I'm just thinking, you know what? They're being nice to me.
mhm.
But now I've realized I actually do have a gift. God has given me a gift.
Yes.
And I'm a very spiritual person. I believe, whatever you believe in,
Mhm.
there is an existence, there's a higher force. And that higher force is what keeps the internal pain and life and energy moving all the time.
Absolutely. And thank goodness you really did not give into that voice that was really saying to you not to go into the college. So, at what age did you go into the college?
I went to the college. I had three children by the age of 26.
Uh-huh.
Um, I went to the college when my youngest at that time, Maria, she went to nursery. So I was like, okay, I've done everything. What am I going to do? I'm not somebody that sits and watch telly. I'm more of a music person. So I thought, oh, I love to read. Let me go back. So at 29, nearly turning 26, I went to the college.
Mhm.
I started from entry level English and maths, and I worked myself up. Um, and I later found out when I was at Birkbeck University that I also have a learning disability. I'm dyslexic.
Yeah.
So I made my way through it. And I'm still studying up to this day. I love the passion of education. I read on the train, I read wherever I can, I read everything. I'm interested in everything. Um, I'm sort of very curious. And I thank God that He's given me that passion to learn and to help others. I feel that when we learn something and we've been blessed with something, it's for us to try to transcend that to others rather than to keep it for ourselves.
Mhm.
So my voice inside, even though sometimes I can be very shy, is to share it with others. Um, and I feel that when it touches one hand, it will touch another, it will touch another's heart, it will touch another, and that's how the light and the empowerment moves.
I feel
Wow. Nestlin, if I may say something, I think I can't hold it. I have to share this. You have so many talents, and yet your greatest talent is the gift of giving, and you master it. And when people are coming to you, when people are sharing their story with you, they open up is simply because you mastered your talent, the gift of giving. I don't know how many people need you, but perhaps are millions and millions. I don't know how much pain is in the world, but I feel is too much.
Mm.
I also feel that there is so much light inside of each one of us. And unless we start sharing, it will be dark for a very long time. Over to you, Neslin.
how beautiful. How beautiful. And the light in Fazia just shines. She is such a radiant beam of light, giving source and support to the world. And I feel so humbled listening to you. And of all the women that you have supported, Fazia, and I know many, and we're not comparing and contrasting now, but share with us one, without naming names, one of the stories that have really touched you deeply.
I was working with this Afghani young girl. She had just turned 18 and she'd come to the UK after the conflict and war. She walked in my office trembling. She came in for an assessment. When she came in, she looked at me, she looked down, she looked at me, she looked down. Um, and I asked her, is she okay? She was so horrified of being in my room is quite small and the windows have got like little glass window. She was so horrified of what this room was representing for her. It was representing the cell that she'd been in, created by several men. She was so terrified that she sat underneath my desk and was holding my legs. Point, I just thought, there's no work that can be done. I'm just going to be a human. I'm just going to be a mother, a woman, an auntie, and whatever, a sister to her. So I kneeled down underneath the desk.
Mhm.
I sat with her. She came right into me like a little child and was hugging me for dear life. I could feel her tears on my cheek. I could hear her heart pounding against mine. She was so unwell and she was cold and sweating and saying, holding on. In her language, what she was saying is, please hold me, be safe with me, be safe with me. I explained to her at that point that she is unwell. I have to get additional support for her. So I explained the whole process with her. I contact my manager and I said to her, this is on another level of connection with another. This is not my role. This is for me as a person, as a mother. I arranged for her to be, I took her, I actually called the ambulance because she was hyperventilating. She was very distressed. I went with her in the ambulance, sitting with her at a hospital. I sat with her through the whole psychiatry assessment.
Mhm.
That I gave her something warm to drink. I was talking to her. She was holding me. I was talking to her. She was dozing off on my shoulder. She become settled. I said to her, I have to leave you now. What she took from me that day was my shawl. And she said to me, can I have it just to keep me safe? And even talking about it now, I could feel her.
Mhm.
And I left her with that. The next day, before going into work, I went to go and see her to make sure she was okay. She had no nightie, no clothes, no nothing. So on my way, whatever my children had, my daughters had, I gathered everything. I got her toiletries for my bathroom, got her a towel, everything, and bought a bag for her. And I helped that young child long that process until she got her refugee status. She came to me with her papers. She said, I don't know what to do. Got her the housing, got her benefits. She's now studying and she's learned English. She's now doing her access course in health and social care, and she's looking into going into medicine. So this is one of the experiences that still touch me very deeply. Um, and I'm blessed for this young woman to have come into my life to be able to hold her in that space when she needed it.
Oh my goodness. And as you spoke about her, I felt her energy. And I felt her energy joining us at a higher level.
Mm.
She connected with you just now. She knows that you're talking about her or talking of her.
Yes.
And she has joined us at a higher level. And that is something quite divine. Um,
Mm.
it's a higher connection. And I love you for your humanity, for the way you connect, for the peace, the light, the joy, and the hope that is within your heart, and for what you want for every girl and for every woman. And as I listen to you, I am reminded of the Tao and receptivity. And I will just share that with you for a moment and then continue to have the conversations. But this is what you reminded me of. And as our listeners listen to this interview, they are also going to be touched at a very deep level. Is what the Tao and receptivity says. To be able to listen really, wholly, passively, self-effacingly listen without presupposing, classifying, improving, controverting, evaluating, approving, or disapproving, without dwelling with what is being said, without rehearsing the rebuttal in advance, without free associating to portions of what is being said so that succeeding portions are not heard at all. Such listening is rare. But if we can do, says Maslow, these are the moments when we are closest to reality. And so as that young girl hugged your feet and asked you to stay close to keep her safe, what is it that keeps you safe, Fawzia?
What keeps me safe is the love of my loved ones. What keeps me safe is the belief of the beauty that we can see when we open our eyes. being honored every single day to wake up from sleep, to have another day to make a difference to our loved ones, to the people we touch, to the people we see on the train, the people we smile on the street, the people we give our seat up for, to make a difference when we enter our offices, where we get a smile, where we get a, can I have 2 minutes of your time, Fawzia? I always leave my office door open. And during the day, my peers will come and take a seat. Can I just have 2 minutes, Fawzia? I'm always there available. What gives me peace is that when I hold my children, even the ups and downs, the conflicts, even not being sure or things not working rightly, that we'll find the way together. What gives me strength and passion is that through all my own pain, all my own suffering, I've always found passion with being with others. And for me, the human existence and the relational aspect is the most powerful, powerful healing that you can give to each other as human beings. That is my passion and that's my light.
I just feel so honored to be sharing with you at this moment. And a question comes into my mind, and you will smile at it. And it is, who am I to be with this divine being? And I suppose as I ask that question, it's my own divinity, honoring your divinity. Thank you for being the light that you are in the world. Thank you for being the star. Thank you for shining so brightly. Thank you for touching others' hearts. And, you know, as Marina often says, we need to be heard, be seen, and be present. And thank you for being present. And for being present in the way you are, because there is not another Fawzia like you on earth. And the angelic qualities and gifts that you bring to heal, to connect, to share, to embalm, I honor you. I honor you at a very deep level.
Well, I would like to say something to you, Nestle. When I met you at the Global Woman Business Day, uh, I felt very warm from you. I felt, I don't know this lady, but I feel connected to her very deeply. And you know, sometimes it sends a shiver down your spine when you feel that warmth and
Yeah.
you feel, have I known this person for a while? I'm sure I have. But you know, when you're picking your brain away and you're thinking, have I seen her? Have I spoken to her? I go to several workshops. Have I been there? No. And I have this, I don't know if it's an illusion or what it is, but I believe women have this divine strength and light that is not seen. But when they communicate through their hearts with each other. And for me, I'm very honored for you to have invited me to even come and talk on your radio show because it's so precious. If I was to say to you, no, I was a shy introvert girl that I would like shy away at everything. But you know what? Somebody told me about 9 months ago. She's a nun. She said to me, Fawzia, you've got this special project running from the Home Office that you're running with the EU. You're developing this special project and you've been given a gift. Stop being selfish and keeping all your knowledge and your light for yourself. You've got to share it with the world. And she gave me a kiss and then she walked away. And I was like, my gosh, what is this? So I was a bit flown back and I thought, let me hold it and see what happens. And since then, I've been taking the steps for me to come out of my psychotherapeutic world, to come out of my psychotherapeutic room, to connect now with social media, to connect to more women workshop, to meet so much people. I've been to the Global Women's Summit. I've done all those things. Last year has been a remarkable year to step out of my realm and connect with women from all different aspects, inspirational women. And I just feel blessed that I've been given this opportunity and this direction in my life. So I feel very honored by you to ask me to talk on your show to this evening.
And thank you to Marina. So, we are just channels of channels of channels. So, what is one of the messages that you would want to give to women who are listening, or women who may even listen days, weeks, months, or years to come? What is one of the key messages that you would like to give them in terms of sharing their stories and connecting?
One of my message to all the sisters of the world would be, our stories sometimes can sound very confusing. It can be very mystifying. We may not have the word in the moment or the space. But however, if our heart and our mind are linking together and our higher being is connecting together, they soon shine the light. The voice will flow through. The story will come through. The meeting of one hand to another hand to another hand will join. So, if you're sitting in your rooms or you're sitting wherever you're sitting in the world, just take that moment. The sister you see on the street, say hello, give a smile, start a conversation, connect. Through connection, your story will come alive and it will soon grow and grow and grow until you won't be able to recognize it. So please, when you're having that moment, what do I have to tell? Who am I? Who's going to listen to me? Start talking, start connecting, and you'll see the world will come to you. That would be my message.
And how else has the world come to you, beautiful angel?
For me, I feel when I stepped out of my psychotherapeutic box, has come to me where I've got Skype clients. The world has come to me now where I'm thinking, Fawzia, you need to run workshops. You need to run seminars. You need to now move from being an individualist in providing your work and make it become cumulative, where you have more women come in and listening to you, sharing their story, empowering together, finding solution so we all can move hand in hand in the world. So that's how I'm connecting now to a bigger world, bigger hearts, bigger group of women. And slowly and surely I will get there.
For sure you will. I'm thinking that I always believed, and at some point I thought it's madness, that the sacred secret of life is sharing the good news. You are the good news.
Oh.
And we forget to tell ourselves that actually your message is not about you. Even your story is your story. But when you share your story, you are delivering a message, a very important message, a vital message for somebody who was waiting on that message. And this is why we created this platform. This is why we have live events, make the news. And they start happening all over the world, where everyone and each one of us could learn they have a story. Because unless somebody is listening to your story, you'll never know you have a story. So this is where everything starts. When you have someone, one person or one audience that is listening to your story, so you could start listening to your own story. And I found that the most important thing is not the story you share with the world, but like you said, is the story you are telling yourself when nobody is listening. And that narrative needs changing. You are telling yourself sometimes things that you won't tell to your worst enemies. You won't tell it to the trees, you won't tell it to your friends, you won't tell it to your enemies. Why would you say to yourself bad words? Why would you look down on you? Why won't you look up to yourself? Why won't you remember who you are and where are you going? We are here for you. Come along and share your story, because it takes one to listen to your story for you to start listening to your own voice. From all of us, until next time, is goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. How beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.